Financially raw, real, authentic wisdom with Lourens Oberholzer from Retire Rich and Happy.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another show. This is Thursday, the 3rd of November, second last month of the year. So, and it's also Movember. So, those of you who are going to grow your mows, good luck. I'm still considering if I'm going to do this the first time ever, my first Movember. So, if you think I should, you're welcome to send me a WhatsApp and tell me yes, do it, or no, don't do it. Let's get you guys to vote and tell me if we should do it or not. For those of you who are going to do it for a good cause, enjoy it, and we're looking forward to November. Today's show, I'm very excited. As you all saw, the topic for today's show is 5 business ideas or business opportunities you can start with little to no capital. Guys, if we look at the unemployment rate in South Africa is skyrocketing. And we have so many people that all they can think of is getting a job, starting to work for a company where they can get a salary. But we need to start thinking about what business can I do? Because we tend to think that our salary from our company is what gives us financial security. But as we've seen through COVID and the last couple of years, that financial security can be taken away from you in an instant. The only financial security you have is the financial security you create for yourself. So starting your own business, working hard, creating an income stream for yourself creates financial security, not working for a company and having a basic salary every month. So, and it doesn't have to take a lot of money. Any business or any person that tells you it takes money to make money has never started a business before. To start a business doesn't take that much money if you are clever about it, if you really have the passion for it, and you really are willing to put in the effort. Because nothing that's worthwhile is easy. You have to be able to put the effort in. Okay, so that's what we're going to chat about. I've got a random selection of some classic music, not classical music, classic songs, some 80s, some 90s songs that I'm going to share with you on the radio show. So for those of you who are listening to me on Berg Studio, you are also welcome to give me a shout out. There's a little shout out button on the right hand side. I always get confused for those of you who are watching me on video, which side is which. But on the top right hand corner of your page, if you are watching or listening through Berg Studio, there's a shout out button. You can give me a shout out there. We've got a shout out from Fricky. He says, "Hi there, looking forward to the show. Yes, I dare you and Warren. Let's all do this." Okay, so we've got one yes for me to do Movember. Let me know what you think. Also, those of you watching on our Facebook page, our Twitch, YouTube, LinkedIn, all our social media channels, you are welcome to chat to me in studio. My WhatsApp number is at the top right hand corner, 0828016693. Please don't, you can comment on the video, but please don't ask me questions there because I can't see all the different channels that we are broadcasting on at the same time. So I might not see your message. So it's better take the WhatsApp and WhatsApp me on 0828016693. I've got my WhatsApp open so I can see all of that. Also, when I talk about the 5 business opportunities today, all of these opportunities are simple to start, and it doesn't cost a lot of money. But I can't go into all the detail on exactly what you need to do to get it going. So I can talk about it in broad terms in the overview. But if you are interested in any of these business opportunities, you want more information, you are welcome to contact me. We've got our website at the top. You can go to retirehappy.co.za to get our contact details, or you can just email info@retirehappy.co.za. Call our office on 087-809-0603, or easiest, WhatsApp me 082-801-6693. And I will send you the whole business plan for each of these businesses, looking at how do you market it, how do you set everything up, what your initial capital outlay will be, what the profitability potential is. All of that detail I can send you, and I'm happy to do that. Just let me know if it's one of the businesses that you are interested in. As per usual, on the social media, we cannot play the music because Facebook and all of these guys don't like us playing the music. So with you guys, we are going to show you a video in those breaks on the 5 steps to retire rich and happy, as well as the benefits of having a financial coach. And on that point, let's start with our first music break. And then the guys on social media, we're going to listen, or you're going to watch a little bit about the 5 steps to retire rich and happy. So let's get going into our topic today, the 5 steps to retire rich and happy. So let's start by first giving you a little bit of my background. I started in the financial services industry in 1999. So I've been in the industry for 22 years now, going on 23 years, almost a quarter of a century. And when I got into the industry, I realized there was 2 major problems in the financial services industry. The first one being the fact that the whole process of financial services is basically a selling process. It is people running around selling products to people without a lot of focus being put on planning, on creating strategies and education more first and foremost. The second problem was the retirement crisis, and that was highlighted to me because of my dad's situation. So those of you who don't know the story of my dad, he started working on the mines when he was very young. He worked on the coal mines for almost 40 years, and he did everything right. You know, the lessons that they tell us since we are very small: go to school, get a good education, go work for a company, get onto the pension fund, and then save as much as you can, live within your means, and at the end of the 40 years, you will have enough money saved up to live a comfortable retirement into your golden years. Now, my dad did all of that. He never took out his pension. He worked at one company. He retired, bought a house cash, didn't have a lot of expenses. And even after doing everything right, by 1999, he was retired for about 5 to 6 years. And the income just didn't keep track with inflation, and he started running into cash flow problems. So I looked at that and I thought to myself, you know what, if somebody who did everything they told us is the recipe to retire comfortably, still couldn't retire comfortably, there must be something wrong with the system. And that motivated me to start doing some research on how can we fix the system, because surely the best we could hope for after working for 40 years is not to retire with 50 to 70% of our incomes. There must be a better way, and that's when I started developing the 5-step program. So the 5 steps is as follows. So I'm going to quickly share with you the 5 steps, and then we're going to go from there and dive into each one a little bit deeper. So the first step is called invest in yourself. This is all about education and development. So developing you as a person, developing your mindset, and developing your financial intelligence. The second step is minimize your risk. And the importance of minimizing your risk is that you need to make sure that doesn't matter what happens to you, your life and your dependents' lives can continue in the same manner that you were used to. We aren't in control of everything that happens to us. We are in control in how we react to what happens to us, but we are not in control of what happens to us. So we don't know. You get in your car, you go to work, and a taxi skips the robot, he hits you and you're paralyzed. These things happen. We might think it only happens to other people, but the reality is it does happen. And if these things happen, you have to have your foundation solid, your financial security in place to make sure that your life can continue and your plans can continue so that you can retire comfortably. The third step, once we've minimized your risk, we then go to become an entrepreneur. So this is extremely important. Welcome back, everyone. And that was Unchained Melody from the Righteous Brothers, a real classic. Something that, for those of you who watch the movie Ghost, I think Roy Orbison made that movie, that song famous again after it was done by the Righteous Brothers first. If I remember correctly, I don't know if it was Roy Orbison. But anyway, let's get started with our show for this morning. And we're going to talk about those 5 business opportunities. So whether you want to do it part-time, whether you want to do it full-time, these are business opportunities that you can start with little to no capital. So let's start with the first one. The first one is hosting webinars. So you can create and offer webinars on any range of topics, especially with where we are at the moment. So many people want to improve themselves. But they've become used to doing things electronically. So it is something that we can really capitalize on, is helping people to educate themselves, improve their skills, become more employable through webinars. So how do you do this? The first thing you want to do is you want to choose a subject that interests you and will attract the interest of from others. So firstly, it has to interest you, because you need to go and study this subject. You need to go and understand how the subject works so that you can become an expert on that subject. If it doesn't interest you, it does become a very difficult thing to invest that time and effort, because you first will have to invest the time of effort, unless you already have a subject that you are an expert in. You might have a 20-year experience in a specific field, and you can teach other people that. But you need to look at what will attract interest from other people. Because, and for that, you need to look at trends. What are the trends out there? Some of the trends you can look at is social media and social media marketing. Does it work? How does it work? Go and do a course on this kind of thing and teach other people, teach small and medium enterprises to do their own marketing in a simple, practical manner. So those kind of things you want to do. So you want to do an online course about that subject. And there are numerous different platforms where you can do these online courses. You have companies like Udemy, you have companies like Coursera. If you just Google online courses, you will get a wide range of courses. You can also go onto YouTube. Anything you want to learn, you can find on YouTube. You don't even have to pay for that. So you do that online course, you educate yourself on this specific subject. You then offer webinars on business skills in your new area of expertise. So you're going to take your area of expertise and create webinars where you can offer, you condense all of this information that you got on the course, because that course might take you 6 weeks, might take you 4 weeks. You want to condense that into maybe a 2-hour webinar where you can then on a practical basis help people to improve their business skills in that new area of expertise of yours. You then compile the training material, but be very careful of copyright. You can't just copy and paste the content from your course that you did and then just sell it off again. So you have to take what you've learned and create your own training material through that. You then want to find a developer and an IT specialist to help you with the setup. Firstly, the web developer needs to develop a website for you, and your IT specialist needs to set up your webinar software, set up the webinar, the booking system, the payment system, etc., for people to register on your webinar. Now, there's 2 ways to pay your web developer or IT specialist. You can invest the capital up front. So you can tell them it doesn't have to be a very complicated website. It can be a 1, maybe a 2-page website with a link. So it can be very simple, so it doesn't have to be a lot of money to do this. But if you don't even have that amount of money to invest, you can speak to a web developer and IT specialist and pay them a percentage of the fees that you will get for hosting your webinar. So you can say to them, listen, I'm willing to give up 10% to my web developer, 10% to my IT specialist, and you share in my profits. Now that takes some of the risk off you, because if people don't pitch, it doesn't really cost you anything. But on the other hand, if a lot of people, if it's a real big success, then your web developer and IT specialist will cost you much more than they would have cost you on an upfront. So you need to make a decision between the two, whether you want to mitigate your risk or you want to keep the cost stable and as low as possible. You then want to choose a date and time, and you need to give yourself a relative time frame for you to have proper marketing in place and get as many people as possible booked for your webinar. So you choose a date and a time. Initially, that date and time should be live sessions, because you want to have the opportunity to interact with your people that attend your webinar, so that they can ask questions, etc., etc. So initially it's better. As you get better and better at this, you can then start doing automated webinars, which means that you can make money while you're sleeping. You basically can market. People can at any point in time, anywhere in the world, click on that link of yours, and you can earn income from people watching your webinar. But initially, it's better to do a lot of live sessions so that you can get a good idea of what are the questions that people ask, so that you can preempt those questions. You can market the webinar online, make the bookings, and handle the queries. So that is going to be, most of your work is going to be about marketing your webinar, making bookings, and handling the queries regarding the webinar, and then also presenting the webinar. So you can either present it yourself, or you can find somebody to present it for you if you are not 100% comfortable or you're a little bit nervous. But those are webinars. Again, this is an overview, guys. This is not the in-depth discussion on how do you market, what the profitability is, what you charge for the courses, etc., etc. If you want more of those details, you are welcome to WhatsApp me. My number is on screen. It is now sitting right below me on screen, 082-801-6693, and I will be able to send you this whole business plan, and you can start working on it. Okay, so that is the first one. The second business opportunity is on an online learning center for basic education. So this is to help learners improve their grades in specific subjects, specifically focused on maybe grade 11s and grade 12s, and a big focus on math and science, because those are two of the subjects that most students have issues with. So your market is massive when it comes to math and science. It's also something that is of crucial importance for children and going forward. So what you want to do with this business opportunity, and the beauty of this is you don't have to be a teacher. You do not have to have the knowledge of teaching children how to do math, how to do science. So you register a company with you, your teachers, and your IT specialist as the shareholders in the company. So what you want to do with this kind of business opportunity, you actually want to partner with specialists so that you can actually share in the profits. So they bring the expertise to the table, they bring the system to the table, and you make sure that the company, the clients are there, it gets marketed, put everything together as the founder of the company. You then go and recruit experienced teachers and an IT specialist. Now you can put an advert on PNet, you can go onto Facebook, you can go into the community groups and ask for experienced teachers. Guys, I promise you a lot of teachers would jump at the opportunity to earn extra income through a business where they don't have to set up the business. They're just going to use their expertise to do a business and partner with you. It won't be difficult to find teachers that will be interested. And you don't need 100 teachers. You need 1 or 2 teachers per subject. And then you want an IT specialist as well as a videographer, depending on your budget, that can help you create the videos for this basic education. Your mission will be to provide the highest quality practical math and science workshops for learners. So you want to make it practical and of high quality. So that's why you want to have experienced teachers, because they will know the curriculum and what the children needs to learn, what they need to focus on. They would know what the places are that children struggle. And they will know how to teach learners through these video sessions, because in this business, you want to create video sessions so that the children in their own time can work through those videos. You record these sessions and offer them to learners and their parents online, and you can either charge an amount for a group of sessions, you can charge an amount for a specific session. It is up to you. Again, if you want more information, we can do the business opportunity, or the business plan I can send to you. When required, learners can then have a one-on-one session electronically with the teachers. And again, you can either package it within them buying a session, so they can buy the session and that includes one-on-one session with one of the teachers, or you can say, listen, you buy the session. If you want to book a one-on-one session with the teachers, it will be a specific fee per hour. You then share the profits with your teachers, with your IT specialists and your partners in your business to minimize your capital outlay as well as your overheads. Because if you look at this, the overheads will be very, very small. You don't need classrooms. You don't need desks and tables and all of those kind of things. And the best thing about this is you can do work once and get paid for it on a continuous basis. Because once you've done the video, the marketing then starts getting people to that video, and people just order the videos on an ongoing basis. You don't have to do the video every single time. Also, your teachers will do the one-on-one sessions and the video. So you work in the background, work on the business. You don't have to work in the business. Okay, so again, any questions on that? You want to see the whole business plan, you are welcome to WhatsApp me 082-801-6693. Okay, so before we go to the third one, which is secretarial services for small businesses, let's take another short break. For those of you on our social media, we're going to continue with our 5 steps. And those of you on Berg Studio, we're going to have a music break. Important because you cannot think you will generate enough income from your primary source of income, that is your job or your salary, to save enough to get you to retirement. You need to create MSI, multiple sources of income, and we'll talk about that now. The key here is that profit you make from that entrepreneurial venture of yours needs to go and build a capital asset so that can become freedom income that will guide you toward your financial freedom. So that capital asset, once you've built it, you then go to step 4 of the process, which is investing income generating assets. So you take your capital, you put it into an income generating asset, which creates another income stream. And then we create a generational wealth spiral. And as I say, when I go into each of these steps in a little bit more detail, we will talk about this generational wealth spiral. And then step number 5 is all about retiring happy, and that is called pay it forward. It is about sharing what you know, making a difference to other people's lives, or making a contribution to somebody else's success. So that is the 5 steps. Invest in yourself, minimize your risk, become an entrepreneur, invest in income generating assets, and pay it forward. And that is the 5 steps, that is the cornerstone of everything we do. This is what we teach people, and this is where our coaching fits in to help people do everything. Welcome back, everyone, and that was Transvision Vamp for those of you who are listening on Berg Studio. Those of you back on our social media channels, we are talking about 5 business ideas you can start with little to no capital. So we spoke about the first 2 already, and those 2 were doing some webinars and then also creating an online learning center for basic education. So the third one we're going to talk about is secretarial services for small businesses. Now, new businesses are registered at an increasing rate. Over 2,000 businesses are registered every month in South Africa. This is private businesses. We're not talking about public companies. We're not talking about non-profit companies. Over 2,000 private companies are registered each month. And most of these 2,000 businesses are either small businesses, micro or small businesses, or part-time businesses. And that means that the owners of these businesses can't afford a full-time receptionist or secretary. But because most businesses are started as transactional businesses, these owners don't have the time to do these secretarial services themselves and also still run the business. So let's say, for example, a business owner starts a plumbing business and he's just started. He can't afford a receptionist or a secretary up front, and for him to drive around, answer his phone while he's busy working on his day-to-day work of doing plumbing, he'll miss calls, he'll miss emails, and that can cost him business. So you can offer this service to small companies as an outsourced service at a fee. So you can, especially, I see so many times, I see people who are looking for jobs, and they advertise on the community groups on Facebook, etc., etc. And so many guys ask for, but I want an admin position or a secretarial or receptionist position. And there are no such jobs. I mean, you look at PNet, you look at all these companies and jobs that are advertised. There are very few admin and secretarial positions and lots of people that apply for them. So instead of trying to find a job doing it, why don't you create a business doing it? So that company then gets the value of having a receptionist, secretary, not missing calls, not missing emails, but they don't have to have a full person on payroll. So for a fee, you can then outsource that for the company. So services you can offer is you can offer a telephone answering service. That's the basis or the foundation of your business, where the company then doesn't miss calls. The owner doesn't miss potential business coming in. You can also do an email answering service to help the owner answer their emails for queries, quotes that needs to be done, etc., etc. You can do typing for them, and you can help them send quotes and invoices. You can look at other services as well, but keep it simple initially. But when you do these or offer these services to small, medium enterprises, I mean more micro and small enterprises, give them the option of structuring their own package. So you charge each of these services individually so that you can structure a package according to their needs. This is also a business that you can leverage and you can expand on by adding more people to your staff. So let's say, for example, you can handle 4, 5, or 6 companies to answer their telephone, send emails, sending quotes and invoices, etc., etc. But you then can handle, say, 5 or 6 or 7 companies. If you add another lady, you can then add another 5, 6, 7 companies. And you can eventually build a team where they do all the basic work and you just manage the business, again, working on the business, not in the business. There is a huge market for this because I know we also work with a lot of micro, small, medium enterprises. And it is something that's very difficult for people working in their business to still manage the emails. So you often get it where the guy works the whole day, then comes home, and then after hours he has to send out all his quotes, send out his invoices, answer WhatsApps, answer emails, and by then people have already found somebody else, so they lose business. This is something that is a great service that you can offer to companies. Okay, and then the fourth one, a renovations broker. So all homeowners need to do minor repairs on their homes. So if you're a homeowner, you know that things go wrong at your house. The house needs to be painted every now and again. The gate breaks. The roof starts leaking. All of these things, a window gets broken. All of these things are minor repairs, and it is an inevitable thing that will happen. But also many homeowners needs bigger repairs, and they want to do renovations on their homes. So you can then earn money by helping homeowners source the best contractors for their specific needs. So instead of you almost like a facilitator and a manager for them. So instead of them going and finding an or phoning on advertisements, trying to get guys to come and quote them, and having to be at home and meet with 5 or 6 or 7 guys before they get a proper quote for the work that needs to be done, you facilitate that process. You build relationships with contractors in different areas of expertise, and you then work with the homeowner to choose the right contractor for the specific job that they need. So your service benefits the contractors by supplying them with business, and you also benefit the homeowners by finding them the most qualified and capable contractors for the job. So therefore removing a lot of the red tape for them. I've seen it now. We are trying to put solar on at my house. And I've probably been in contact with close to 20 different solar installation companies. From those 20, only about 5 of them actually eventually came to my house to do a quote. And now I have to work through those quotes, look at the different options, and decide which one is going to be the best. That has taken, just this whole process of getting solar installed at my house has probably taken 10 to 12 hours out of my busy schedule, out of doing my business and generating revenue. So if you can take that away, that red tape and that effort and that work away from the homeowner, it is easy for you can charge the homeowner a fee for it, or you can just charge the contractors a commission on the business that you generate for them, or you can do a little bit of both. Again, we can't go into all the detail of how this business will work, but we have a whole business plan on record. So if you want to see exactly how you go about it, how do you market it, how do you cost it, what the potential is, all of these things, you are welcome to WhatsApp me and I will send you that business plan. Okay, so we've got one left, so we're going to go for another short music break, and once we come back, we're going to talk about the 5th business opportunity you can start with little to no capital. Those of you watching on our social media channels, we are going to talk a little bit, or I'm going to show you a video on the benefits of having a financial coach. Why is it so important to have a financial coach? Okay, so let's talk about the financial coaching. So like I said, the financial coaching I developed because I saw the knowing doing gap. People, it made sense, the 5 steps. They wanted to understand the 5 steps and wanted to implement, but then they battled. The moment an obstacle came, the moment something happened that was not fitting in perfectly into that little model, they didn't know how to overcome that. And that's why we decided to create the personal financial coaching model. Now, why is it important to have a coach, and what's the benefits of having a coach? Now, if you look at it from a sports analogy, because I think all of us understand that if you look at sport, you need a coach. So if you want to be the best at anything, you need to get a coach that can help you achieve that. The reason for that is that a coach has access to a lot of different people and have had access to a lot of different experiences. You basically start with only your experience. So if something out of the ordinary happens in your implementation, you have to look from your limited experience and say, okay, so how do I fix this? And because you have limited experience, you have limited options to solve that problem. Where the coach might have worked with 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people, 10,000 people before, which now means that he's probably seen that scenario play out 10 times, 100 times before. So where you have to sit with a clean slate and try and figure out what the right solution is, your coach has seen this hundreds of times before, so he immediately knows. So what does that do? It helps you to not have to learn through trial and error alone. It saves you time. It makes sure that you don't get discouraged because of failure. Because if you don't have a coach that can guide you, how are you going to solve this? If you are really determined, you're going to try one thing. Then that thing might not work to solve your problem, which hits you back a little bit. Then you have to try another thing and go through trial and error until you find the right solution. Where your coach could have cut out all of that and just told you, listen, the previous times this has happened, how we solved this problem was that. There's a track record, this is how it's solved, and you just implement. So imagine the time you save. So by having somebody there with you that can guide you, give you advice, and tell you how to overcome obstacles, you are cutting your journey, the time to reach your goals by half, by 80%. So why would you want to go the long route if your coach can show you the shortcut? The second thing is, it's good to have a mentor or somebody that can keep you accountable. This is so important because it's so easy for us to bullshit ourselves, to go and tell ourselves all of the stories and give excuses and find problems for every solution. It's so easy to do that. But if you have a coach that you know is going to call you on your nonsense, is going to call you out when you are making excuses, then you have somebody that can keep you accountable, and you'll be amazed how honest you become with yourself if you know there's somebody that's going to call you out when you are not honest. The people we lie to most often is ourselves. We don't lie as much to other people as we lie to ourselves. And the moment you stop doing that, you can go on this journey to become successful. And what your coach does is he keeps you accountable. He doesn't allow you to lie to yourself, which means you're going to stop doing it because you know, I'm going to try and get this lie past my coach. He's not. And welcome back, everyone. That was the Spin Doctors. Little Miss Can't Be Wrong. Another classic. Okay, so our final business opportunity, and obviously the best one. Obviously the one that I think everybody could get involved with. So, and that is becoming a financial coach. Here's the thing, and this is where the need arises. We come from an education system that for generations have taught us how to become good employees and earn an income. But it doesn't teach us what to do with that income once we've earned it. So we get to age 40, we battered, we bruised, our expenses are higher than our income, our debt is sky high, and then people look at us and say, but geez, you've made some stupid decisions. Well, the fact is you didn't know any better because you were never taught any better. How can we expect people to win at a game when they don't know the rules? And if you want to win at the game of money, you need to know the rules of the game of money. So it's like playing Monopoly. If 4 people sit around a table and 3 of them have played Monopoly before and 1 haven't, and they start playing without teaching that person the rules, how long will it take before that person goes bankrupt if he doesn't understand how this whole game is played? And even if he's clever and he starts picking it up, by the time he's figured out how to play the game, he's going to be so far behind the 8 ball that he'll never catch up. And that's what happens to a lot of us in our lives. We start with, they have this attitude of you'll pick it up as you go along, don't stress. But the thing is, by the time you've picked up these things, you've gotten so deep into trouble that it takes so long to get out. Why not teach people the right steps up front? Only 58%, or not only, 58% of employed individuals in South Africa are either financially exposed or financially unstable. So what does that mean? Being financially exposed means that you can pay your expenses, but if something goes wrong, something out of the ordinary happens, you are in trouble. You either then have to stop paying something to pay something else, or you have to go into debt. And financially unstable means that you often have to go deeper and deeper into debt. Every year you're getting deeper into debt because you just can't maintain your standard of living without going deeper into credit card debt and personal loan debt, etc., etc. And over 58% of employed individuals are either financially exposed or unstable. The typical South African employed family spends about 75% of their income servicing debt. 75%. Guys, it's a huge problem. And by becoming a financial coach, you can help those people because they have no one else to help them. I don't know if you guys have experienced this, is you have this feeling of, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing and I don't know who to ask. And that is how most people feel. So it's a massive market in the country and in the world to help people and teach them. Now, you can say, but geez, there's so many financial gurus on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram, and you can read all of these books, the Robert Kiyosaki's, the Susie Orman's, all of these books. But the thing with a lot of this, and I've read thousands of these books, is that it is not very practical. They say the right thing, they teach the right thing, but they don't show you exactly what you need to do and the steps in doing it. Robert Kiyosaki says build assets that generate income, but he doesn't say first make sure that you've got your expenses sorted out, get rid of your unsecured debt, then build financial security, then start investing in income generating assets. He doesn't give you the sequence of events. He just says you have to start building assets. And you can't just jump to that if you still have 300,000 rands worth of credit card debt. So you need to help, or you can help people by becoming a financial coach. You can help people, teach them a practical step-by-step process to get. You start with the basics, start with budgeting, cash flow management, all the way up to building passive income through assets to retire financially in 10 years. And that is what we teach people with our financial coaching, is how do we get you to retire financially in 10 years? So what does it mean to retire financially? It's not the same as the typical definition of retirement. Typically, the definition of retirement was the day that you stop working. Our definition of retirement is the day that you can work because you want to work, not because you have to work. And that is where we want to get people, to that point where they can work and do what they do because this is their passion. This is what they want to do with their life. Not they have to do it because they need the paycheck. And as a financial coach, you can take people there. You can make a difference in an area of people's lives that has a massive impact on their well-being, while also creating an ongoing income for yourself. Just think in your own life, how big of an influence does finance have in your life? Your money situation, whether your lack of it, your abundance of it, what influence does that have on your well-being, on your mental state, on your stress levels, the fact that you have control over your finances or you don't, the fact that you have a lot of debt or you don't? It has a massive effect on people's well-being. But you, through this business, also create an ongoing income for yourself, because you have students that you work with that pay you on a monthly basis. So it's an ongoing income that you build up. You don't have to start from scratch every single month. Also, you don't need to be a financial expert. You don't need to know all the rules at this stage. It will be taught to you by iRetire. Through the business, you will be taught exactly how the steps work, how the 4 levels of coaching work, what the 4 outcomes is that you are working towards, the financial stability, security, gain and abundance, how you work through those 4 outcomes. Everything is taught to you. You don't have to figure it out for yourself. So through this business, you can be in business for yourself because it's your business. How fast you grow the business, how big the business becomes is all up to you. But you're not in business by yourself. You have a team of mentors that help you, support you throughout the business to become successful. We always say in our business that you will get as much help as you ask for. So if you have the passion for it, if you really want to make a difference in people's lives, you will get the support to become successful in becoming a financial coach. So again, if you're looking for more information on this, you are welcome to send us an email, info@retirehappy.co.za, or you can WhatsApp me, 082-801-6693. Guys, and that is our 5 different business opportunities. You can start with little or no capital. There are hundreds more if you just go and look at where there is a need and what you can do to help people satisfy that need. At the end of the day, hopefully you got something out of this. And even if you don't do something specifically like we explained it, it might have opened or planted a seed of an idea in your mind that you can work on, that you can water, so that that can start growing and creating your own business. Because if you really want financial security, you need to have your own business. That doesn't mean we say quit your day job and start a business, cash in your pension fund and pump it into a franchise. What we are saying is start thinking about how you create your own financial security, how you create your own independence financially. Thank you for your time this morning. It was great sharing it with you and chatting with you this morning. I look forward to our show next week. And have a great weekend. Let's see what happens with the cricket today. And let's see what happens with the rugby on Saturday. Looking forward to that. Okay, guys, have a great week. Cheers, everyone.
Financially raw, real, authentic wisdom with Lourens Oberholzer from Retire Rich and Happy.